we have a pitcher, which I like talking about pitchers. And this one comes from at Joe underscore dynasty 3 from Twitter. And he wants us to talk about Brandon Pfaadt. And Brandon Pfaadt is an interesting guy, like really interesting. And I was really happy that somebody brought this guy up. Brandon Pfaadt. He is 6'4", 220 pounds. He's 24 years old. He was drafted in 2020 to the Arizona Diamondbacks in round 5, pick 149 overall. He went to college in Bellarmine, Kentucky. I want to hear a little bit about the college, and then I can dive into the minors if you would be willing to do that for me, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Bellarmine. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and I'm sorry if I'm not. That's an interesting one, but that's also the college he went to. He was a Bellarmine Knight. So his first season there, he only put together a 6.67 ERA as a freshman. Let's just skip right past that. His second season showed a lot of improvement with a 4.03 ERA and 11.8 strikeouts per nine. That was only 38 innings. Improvement, but still we're looking at, his whip was a little on the high side, 1.368. And then his final season, he showed a lot more promise, but he only started in 5 games. So it's hard to say. It looks like his college career has been, he doesn't really have a huge sample to go off of from there. But that final season in those 5 starts, he had a 1.38 ERA and a 0.846 whip, striking out just over 9 per 9. So an improvement. Something I do want to point out, though, around his time in college, even though his sample there was not very large, he played in a couple summer leagues and he was dominant in those summer leagues. 2 different summer leagues he played in, and he had a aggregate 2.21 ERA, pitched almost as many innings in those summer leagues as he did in college, but he was way more effective there. 2.21 ERA, 0.879 whip, and 11.4 Ks per 9. So I'm not sure what there is to say about that, but it's interesting.
So obviously he gets drafted in 2020, misses the full season there. He could have been a complex league, but in 2021, he was assigned to single A, and he threw 40.1 innings, had a 3.12 ERA, struck out 57, averaged about 12.72 K per 9 in single A. Gets promoted, gets to high A plus, and his ERA sits at 2.48 in 58 innings. His K per 9, it goes down to 10.4. Gets promoted again to double A and pitches about 33 innings. ERA pops up a little bit at 4.59, and his K per 9 dips pretty hard down to 9.72. But we're talking about, getting into the big boys there at double A. The progression there is pretty nice. His whip has always been good. So his whips started at 0.89, went up to 0.91, and then finished at 1.32 at double A. So I think double A, I think his eyes probably opened up a little bit and went, oh, these guys can really hit. And then in 2022, starts out at double A and got beat up a little bit, to be honest with you. He threw 105 innings, had a 4.53 ERA. His whip was 1.25. K per 9 was 12.3. So that's a decent place. Well, that's a really good place to be at 12.3 K per 9. So the ERA is a little high at double A, but he does get promoted. He gets promoted to triple A, and he has 61 innings pitched. His ERA goes dramatically down to 2.63. His whip is beautiful at 0.99. And then his K per nine, it dips down to 10.8, but 10.8 is really good still. Brandon Pfaadt interests the crap out of me because there's holes there, and not only holes, but signs of brilliance, and then getting shelled, and then signs of brilliance, and then getting shelled, and then it's like he figures it out as he's climbing, but then gets beat up a little bit, and then figures it out a little bit more. So this is a 24-year-old pitcher for the Diamondbacks, which this is a perfect team to have a really young pitcher that could start climbing in the ranks, because I really think the Diamondbacks are going to be really good in 4 years. I like really good because everybody's going to be growing up a little bit. He's going to be 28 in that pitching staff. This is an eye-opener prospect to me, I think. This is somebody that I want to keep an eagle eye on the whole time. Do you have anything to kind of add to that?
Well, he's definitely been moving up the boards. He's ranked by, again, the big three: Baseball America, MLB Pipeline, and Baseball Prospectus. Baseball America is really high on him. They have him as the number 27 overall prospect. That's high praise.
Oh, wow.
And they're a pretty well regarded publication. STS is much less of a believer. They don't see him as being anywhere close to that good of a prospect based on the numbers that they're looking at and age level factors. He projects for a 3.96 peak xFIP. Strikeout rates look pretty decent, but they're saying you can probably find better in the minor leagues for much lower prices.
Sure.
I guess if I was to give my input, I'm probably taking the side of STS a little bit on this, where I'm not willing to pay top 30 or probably even top 50 prospect prices to try to get him. But I'm interested in watching to see how it translates when he gets to the major league level. If you own him, he's probably a hold. You could probably make an argument for a sell high, but he's probably worth seeing how he'll develop too. And that's pretty good up and coming Diamondbacks team too.
Yeah, super excited about that team. Like I said, I got an eagle eye on this guy. I want to really watch him. He has climbed all the way up to the Arizona Diamondbacks number 4 prospect. According to MLB.com, he is below Carroll, Lawler, and Jones. You put those 3 names in there,
yeah,
and like that's good company to be with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So thank you, Joe, for bringing Brandon Pfaadt to our attention.